Hello, universe! I failed. Even though I talk a lot about productivity and organization, I still fail at a lot of the habits that I try to build. And I think that failure is an essential part of why I succeed in a lot of them as well. So for every lifestyle change that I have made so far, I have failed countless times. I failed at exercise, I failed at drinking water, I failed at having a healthy diet, and I failed at meditation, which is what I would like to talk about today. How can I learn from this failure and transform it into a success? But to understand that, I have to understand why I failed. I think the biggest part of it is that I didn't turn it into my identity. Even though I was meditating for several months and working on it for several years, it never became regular for me to say I want to meditate. It was regular for me to say I have to meditate and to feel like I have to do it. So it wasn't a lifestyle for me, not yet. And I think the big reason for that is that I was just so overwhelmed with all of the possible meditations that there are out there. It is a wonderful thing to be able to choose between YouTube and Headspace and Insight Timer and all of these wonderful options. But at the same time, I would sit for 10, 20 minutes trying to choose the right meditation for the right moment that would be just perfect. And then sometimes the person wouldn't have a nice voice for me, or they would say something that really didn't fit for the moment, and I would come out of the meditation unsatisfied. And another thing that happened was that I wasn't being an essentialist with it. So because there were so many options, I was building knowledge on all of these different pillars versus taking one kind of meditation and one kind of practice and building that up like an essentialist, where you focus on the core and expand from there. I was expanded and trying to find the core. So that was the formula of my failure. I was not an essentialist, it was not my lifestyle, and I had a lot of decision fatigue. And I think if I invert this formula, I will find the one for success. So I have to find the right strategy to help me with my decision fatigue. I have to find a way to turn it into a lifestyle, and I have to be an essentialist with it. And I'm going to throw two more things into the mix. I have to hold myself accountable. This is something that we're going to talk about in a moment. And I will use the 1-minute rule, which means that essentially whatever kind of work you put in towards the habit counts. If it's 3 mindful breaths, if it is just closing your eyes and resetting, it counts. So this will be my formula for success. Knowing this is incredibly valuable, but I also need a very strong why. So why do I want to do this in the first place? I know that even these small 10-minute, 1-minute meditations have a big effect on daily life. For example, mindful eating and mindful drinking, remembering to hydrate your body, is something that you realize when you're sitting at your desk and you are mindful of how you feel. You feel dehydrated, you go and you have a drink. I would get dehydrated so often because I'm just carried away, I'm not in my body. And with mindful eating, where you actually take the time to taste the food, to chew it really well and not to overeat, this is incredibly good for your health because you don't feel groggy afterwards, you don't go in a food coma, and you only eat when you're hungry, so you're not digesting all the time. These are benefits that I have had and I want to have again. I also want to be present for time slipping by me when I'm walking, when I'm being with a friend, even when I'm working. I want to notice it more, and that will make it longer. I know I have this feeling when I'm in nature because I am completely engaged. I'm not on my phone, I'm not doing anything else. I am in my body in the moment. The walks somehow feel longer than sometimes my whole day of doing all kinds of things. This is my why, and it's something that I want to try to meditate on, especially in the beginning, to really keep that fire ignited. So I have my plan, my formula, I have a very strong why that I need to remember, and now I need a strategy, so the right tool set. And I have tried many tools for meditation. The easiest way to meditate is to just close your eyes, sit down, but I want to learn, I want to improve, so I need some guidance in the beginning. I have used YouTube, but I don't find it easy when you're out and about to open a video and sometimes you don't have the data for it. I used Headspace for a whole year, I paid for it, it's worth it. If you are an absolute beginner, it's worth it because there are courses on different things like anxiety, fear, working, there are for different sicknesses. It is very useful, but when the course ends, I felt myself not knowing what to do and not really being able to go off on my own and come up with a meditation. I feel like at some point they also got a little bit repetitive. I don't know, maybe it has changed since then. That was about 3 years ago. And from Headspace, I moved on to Insight Timer. Insight Timer is a free application where there are 90,000 meditations and more, where you really have the whole choice of teachers and topics, and you can even meditate with other people in real time, which is amazing. So I have used Insight Timer for a long time. This is where the decision fatigue is, but it is a wonderful tool. So it's not really the tool's fault. You could pay and get a guided course over several days, but the course ends. So I'm not gonna pay. I have a better plan. I want to sit down in the beginning of the month, look at several meditations, hear a little bit from them whenever I have the time. Doesn't have to be in the beginning of the month. And I want to plan out my next month of meditations. So whenever I sit down, I can instantly just get going. And I want to take you along on this journey for accountability. I think it will be really wonderful because on Insight Timer, you can actually create circles where you can meditate in real time with other people. So starting next month, I want to trial meditating with you. And if we're not meditating live, if you don't have the time or you're sleeping, you can join later via a recommendation tab. So you can either talk to other people there, which is wonderful. You can listen to the live meditation, or you can go and click on the recommendation. Definitely not something that I want you to turn on your notifications for. I don't want to distract you in any way. If you just want to see the day's recommendation, see what I have picked for myself, then you could just go and have a look at that as well. I think the set time aspect is really useful because having this routine of, okay, I have to do it now, removes the opportunity to put it off any further. The other people are going to be there at the given hour, and you have to be there too, or you have to be there for yourself every morning, every evening. And maybe even it helps if you have a specific place which reminds you of this habit. Just like when you lay in your bed, you feel sleepy, you sit on the couch, you want to watch TV. When you sit in your meditation spot, you feel like meditating. Maybe you can have a cushion that is just made for meditating, or a little corner of your house. These are both things that I'm going to try out personally. And of course, I'm going to pick out the meditations in the beginning. So I think this strategy should give me the edge this time. This is essentially how I approach my failures. I see, why did I fail? What happened? What was in my lifestyle that was stopping me from succeeding? How can I succeed? What is my why? And what is my strategy? And this can be applied to many things. I think we're going to talk about the topic of meditation specifically again, but maybe this will become a series where I speak about other habits, some that I haven't succeeded in yet and some that I have succeeded in, making them lifestyle changes. I definitely want to be completely transparent because failure and success are a continuous process, because all things happen in life, and tomorrow even the things I have succeeded in today could be no more, because there is a complete change. So it is up to us to be adaptable and to be okay with that and to just keep going. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you'll be joining. All of the information should be on Instagram, and of course I'll see you on Insight Timer. Any information might be down below.